what's up, truckers? Welcome to 10-4 Radio. So listen, I decided to go live because I was like, you know what topic I want to talk about? And instead of recording it, I was like, why not just go live? Like, it's so much easier. I like it better. Most of the time when I have went live, most people like it better. So I was like, why not go live? So today's topic, we're talking about why most drivers don't make it past 1 year. And I felt like this was an important topic because in my career of training, as well as being a CDL state examiner, I've seen so many new drivers come and go. They come in the industry and then they leave, or they say it's not for them. And I tried to brainstorm, like, why? Why are they leaving so rapidly? In the first year, you haven't really um, got any experience yet. So the question I ask myself is, what aren't drivers making it past their first year? And I felt like it was again, a good topic to talk about because it's a thing. You go through the schooling, you get your CDL just to not use it. And so I came up with a few things the reasons I feel like drivers aren't necessarily using or sticking with the trucking career after the first year. So let's talk about it. So listen, most CDL drivers don't fail because they can't drive, right? They fail because they weren't prepared for what is to come after the license, right? Getting your CDL is the easy part. And I know those that may be in school right now, they're like, the easy part. Literally, it's the easy part, right? You study, you practice, you pass your pre-trip, you back between some cones, you pass your state exam, and then boom, yeah, you got your license, right? But surviving 1 year, that is the real test. That is where you are what I call stretched. What I mean by stretched is, when you're stretching, right, it kind of hurts sometimes, depending, if you haven't ever been that way, it hurts, right? It's uncomfortable. So in your first year, that's where the stretch comes, meaning the anxiety, the uncertainty. You're doing things you've never done. You're in states you've never been in. You're encountering people you've never encountered. You're with a trainer that you have no idea about. You're in the middle of buck fucking two, on these 2-lane roads in the middle of the night. It's uncomfortable, right? This is where a lot of drivers either either accept that stretch and just push through that discomfort or anxiety, or they like, yeah, nah, right? Because literally, once you leave that controlled environment, right, the school, that's when reality hits. And most drivers don't quit again because they're incapable. They quit because of the pressure. They quit because the pressure doesn't match what their expectations was. Their expectations are through the roof a lot of the times because social media plays such a big part in it. So yeah, I want to talk about it, but y'all stick with me. Don't go nowhere. We're going to come right back and let's dive into it. And I hope y'all have some thoughts about this, input, whatever you got. If you're a first year trucker, I want your input. What's going on out there that is making you feel uncomfortable? If you're thinking about quitting right now, why? Let me know. I want to know in the comments. So stay right there. Don't go nowhere. We're going to be right back.
You're listening to the 10 Radio with Mia. 23 years in the game, still shifting gears, still dropping gems, and still gorgeous truck her strong.
Before we start, do me a favor and lock in with the show. You can listen to 10-4 Radio, the Yard Talk podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Gorgeous Truck Hers, and subscribe on YouTube at 10-4 Radio, the Yard Talk. Now, welcome to 10-4 Radio. I'm your host, Mia, or as most call me, your favorite trucking auntie. Let's get into it.
Artlist.io. music licensing.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Before I get started, before I get started, if you're new here, first off, welcome to 104 Radio, the Yard Talk podcast. I truly appreciate you tapping in and joining. Again, join in the chat. If you have something to say, if you want to add something, please feel free. I'm always open to different people's perspectives and ways of looking at things. I would love your input. If you're back joining 104 Radio, thank you so much for tapping back in. I appreciate you. So we're talking about why most drivers don't make it past year one. Now, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I'm going to go through what I think and just some things that I've noticed through the years, and again in my years of training as well as driving, as well as being a state examiner. I've just witnessed some things. And so I figured let's do a topic about that because it's definitely a thing. So again, make sure you guys like, follow, share, and subscribe to stay updated when I do go live, because I'm a bit random sometimes, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. All right. So I jotted down a few things of what I want to talk about and why I feel like first year drivers typically, or new drivers don't typically make it past the first year. So the first thing I have is I feel like it's unrealistic expectations. Like, I think a lot of people come into trucking thinking, oh, I'm about to make six figures immediately, right? I mean, you got social media making it look hella glamorous. You got everybody editing highlight reels, right? They posting big checks and all the money spread out, and the freedom, right? Which trucking does come with freedom. But this is the thing. Nobody posts the real shit. Like, nobody posts the rookie loads, meaning you ain't gonna be making a whole lot of money right off the bat, right? Inconsistency the first few months, the slow learning curve, right? The adjustment to dispatch structure and what that looks like, how dispatch operates, and the discipline period to take to manage your time. Time management is essential with this. Some people are just habitual late people. And that's gonna make this career a hard career, because time management is important for this job. So to me, when reality hits, or when reality doesn't match that fantasy, when the new drivers are getting in, then disappointment, turns into doubt. Doubt turns into quitting. And I think that's how that goes, And this is the thing. I know a lot of people is like, trucking don't pay. Trucking, ain't no money in trucking. It is. Stop listening to social media so much. There's money in trucking, right? Trucking will pay you. But first, it's going to test you. Like, it's definitely going to test you. So if it will grow you if you're willing to let it, or like I said earlier, it's going to stretch you, right? If you have a hard time speaking up for yourself, oh baby, you better get that shit together now. Otherwise, you get ran over immediately. Like, you have to have a backbone out here, right? If you're a very, again, soft spoken, you have to be able to speak up for yourself. If you see something, or they're asking you to do something, that's not right, and you get nervous, that's okay. You can get nervous, but you need to say something about it, right? Trucking it will make or break you. So let me go to my next point of why I think first year truck drivers quit. The second thing I have is no mental preparation. Driving a truck is one thing, right? Living the lifestyle is another. Those are two totally different things. There's steering wheel holders, and then there's truckers, right? It's a driver, and then there's professional drivers. Two totally different things. And again, these are just my opinions. Y'all ain't got to agree or disagree. And if you do disagree, give me another point of view, give me another perspective of how to look at it. I want to know. What do you guys think? So to me, there's steering wheel holders, and then there's professional truck drivers. There's people that make this a profession, and then people that are just here, right? they do what they want to do and they think they can cut corners, and those are just people that's here. But then you got those of us that are professional drivers and transportation professionals. We've made this into a career. It's all about what you make it, right? So no mental preparation, right? Again, living the lifestyle is a whole different thing. So are you ready for uh, um long hours, right? Early mornings, being alone. Listen, the isolation itself, depending on your type of personality, the isolation will drive you crazy, right? Being corrected. Are you teachable? Or do you take everything personally? Can somebody coach you? Can somebody train you? Right? Or do you take everything as a personal attack? Right? Being responsible for 80,000 pounds. That's life or death. And I know people don't really talk about that or like to talk about it or think about it that way. It is literally life or death. And then lastly, safety metrics, right? Tracking your behavior. Are you risky? Do you have do you have good depth perception? I've seen some drivers, some truck drivers that I don't know how shit just it's questionable. You be like, they thought that that space was a good space to get over. Like, shit's scary. Shit's a bit scary. But anyway, so yeah, no mental preparation. And then this is the thing. Some people don't quit the job, right? I think when drivers, the 1 year drivers, they quit. I don't think they're quitting the job. I think they quit the isolation, quit the structure, they quit the discipline, because it takes discipline here. Like, you cannot come in here and make some rules. You cannot come in here and do what you want to do. DOT says exactly how shit's about to be ran. FMCSA says exactly how it's going to be ran. You get to the dock late and they deny or reject your load, and now you mad. Who you mad at? You? Yeah. I mean, accountability is everything, right? Trucking requires emotional maturity. I hope y'all heard that. Trucking requires emotional security. I mean, emotional maturity, security. So if you move merely off of emotion all the time, like you don't think before you do things, yeah, it's gonna be hard out here for that. You cannot always be reactive to everything. You cannot take everything personal. You cannot let one bad day you can't allow that to define your future. Like, you got to learn to just let shit roll off and be like, it is what it is. We live to fight another day, right? So I just feel like, those are things that people don't talk about. Again, trucking requires emotional maturity. If you don't have those things, your license won't save you. You can have a CDL. Cool. But if you are reactive, you're not teachable, you're not coachable, you take everything personal, you argumentative, you combative with everything, your license won't save you. You just went and got that CDL for no reason. I don't know. I see I got a few people out there watching. What y'all think? What's y'all thoughts on that? I don't know. I think a lot of the newer drivers coming in are very reactive. Very reactive. It's hard to teach people um that already know everything. That's hard. And I'm not saying everybody's like that. But I will say the newer generation of drivers coming in, Um, a lot of them are they come in feeling like they know everything already. They don't need to be taught. Like they know everything. Who is that? Anthony Payne said new drivers came back for shit. I've seen some new drivers that are really good. I'm not gonna say all new drivers came back. I've seen some drivers come out of school. But this is the thing, Anthony. We all started there. And that's what I always tell myself. We all have been new. We all had to figure it out. We all trial and error, right? We all been there. I've been in it 23 years. I don't know how long you've been in it, right? But the point is, we all been at a day one. And hell, truth be told, a lot of us, even now, depending on the day, how we feeling, our fatigue level, shit, back end is a struggle even today sometimes. I mean, it's good days and bad days. That's for all of us. Let's say isolation and not realizing how much you are going to be away from friends and family. I don't think most people understand. I agree with you, Jeff. I talked about that earlier. Yeah, isolation is, I think, something that a lot of the new drivers don't think about. I think this is what I think. I think getting your CDL now has become very trendy, right? It's trending. It's a trend thing. Everybody wants their CDL and they want to flash and they want to drive a truck, right? But then they don't forward think about the stuff that comes along with it. You know, again, like isolation. So I totally agree. Anthony said, I'm saying I'm new and can't back for shit. Well, Anthony, let me tell you, you will get there. I promise. Keep practicing. Don't worry about nobody else. I think a lot of the times when new drivers get to like the shipyards or even the truck stops, you got everybody watching you. All eyes is on you. So what I suggest is just like put some blockers on like this and don't pay attention to nobody. Just focus on your mirrors and getting your truck and trailer into that spot. Cause I think a lot of times when people's watching, it's a mind thing. And then you start messing up. Like you like, oh shoot, I need my trailer to the right. Why am I turning my wheel right? Right? Like you just start doing shit that you already know better than, right? So I always suggest and I always tell drivers, don't pay attention to nobody else. Block out everybody else and just do your thing. Who cares about them? That's how you think. Especially when you get to like the ship and you got the dock workers watching you, because all the dock workers swear they can drive better than you, right? Do your thing. Block them out. Don't worry about nobody else. You got traffic waiting? They'll be all right. They'll be there. The whole point is you getting that truck and that trailer in that spot without tearing up nobody else's truck and without tearing up your truck and messing up nobody's property. That should be your whole focus. That's all I'm saying, Anthony. You got it. I believe in you, Anthony. Don't give up, Anthony. All right, so look, my third thing that I said of why I think drivers quit within the first year is lack of mentorship. So to me, this is the gap nobody talks about. You can graduate on Friday and then be in a truck by Monday, right? But who's teaching you? Who's teaching you how to communicate with dispatch professionally? How to handle your first mistake? How to manage your money during your ramp up? And that's another thing I'm gonna get into later in this episode. How to advocate for yourself without being emotional, and who's teaching you how to stay confident. When you're new, mentorship matters. As lot, and I know a lot of people don't like asking, and that's one mistake I wish newer drivers would get out of, not wanting to ask for help. That's how you learn. And listen, I I know that sometimes when you ask for help, people will shun you, or you can feel the energy of like they don't really want to help you, and then it kind of makes you go into a shell, and then you don't want to ask for help anymore. I get it, because I'm that way sometimes. I'm still trying to get past that, as far as in certain areas of leadership that I'm in. But you have to. That's how you learn. There's no way you're going to learn your job that you went to school for without asking for help and getting some type of mentorship. Um, Trucker Steve, hey. That's my buddy. I love Trucker Steve. Y'all, if y'all are on here and you're a new student, or even if you're just looking for knowledge, make sure you check out Trucker Steve's page. He's a great resource. He has a wealth of knowledge. He's been in this industry forever. He's a great guy. Go check him out. Trucker Steve said, yes, CDL schools should teach students what they will face in trucking and how to handle it. I agree. Need to teach students how to be healthy. Health is wealth. I agree, Steve. That's something that they don't teach. And it's really not something that it's something they really need to advocate more in the industry in general. More, when we go to, like, when you get to the truck stops, there's always fast food spots, right? But why not attach, this is just my brain working, like attach a truck stop to like a Planet Fitness. Who says that can't happen? Like a truck stop, and then on the other side where the restaurant is usually at, why not have a little gym? Or I don't know. Why though? Why can't we do that? Everything else is doable. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. So again, lack of mentorship. A lot of drivers aren't failing. They're just unsupported. They get their license, and then they weren't developed. Does that make sense? And development is really what keeps people in the game. Like you have to have an area where they can grow and they can ask questions. They can mess up and not feel, like they're just the laughing stock of the driver room or whatever, right? Isolation to me will make you think you're incapable, but support reminds you that you're growing. So having a support system is important because it's having somebody where you mess up and then they let you mess up. But now, okay, what we gonna do to fix it? That's the type of mentor I am. Okay, you messed up. Shit happened. Don't sweat it. Now, what is the solution? What are we gonna do to fix this? Because everybody can talk problems, right? But now what are we going to do? Because that's all I really care about. So if I'm in the truck or something with a student, or I'm in the yard and I'm training a student and they messed up, listen, I will cross my arms and then they're looking at me for help. What are we gonna do? What would you do if I wasn't here? That's what I want to see. Decision making. It's building their own confidence. So before I go, Trucker Steve said video is coming out Monday outlining what needs to be talked about for a long-term health plan. Make sure y'all check that out Monday. Go subscribe on Trucker Steve's page to make sure that you don't miss that. So yeah, lack of mentorship. Again, support reminds you that you're growing. We all need mentorship. I don't care how far in the game you get. I still need mentorship. Everybody needs mentorship to grow. Okay. The next thing that I have of the reason why I think new drivers quit in the first year is poor financial discipline. So I said I was going to talk about this earlier, but poor financial discipline. Where do I start with that? I think, okay, to me, this is a quiet killer, right? What happens is, and I remember I was talking to somebody about this. You get that first decent check hit for that week, whatever that check is for that week. Let's say, I don't know, 1,500, right? And then you start getting that consistently, right? Now, for some reason, I see a lot of new drivers. Now they upgrade their life before you even stabilize the foundation. Now you got a new car, new bills, new responsibilities, So now when a slow week happens, it feels like it's a crisis. Now you trying to figure out what you're going to do. Who can you get some money from? Right? You ain't got no money to eat. Financial discipline is important. And I see this a lot because I understand that some people get into the industry and they may have never had a career, right? They never have had a job where they made as much money as they're making right now. And that's why I hate when I'm in the groups and I see people talking about money, and then you see drivers saying, "Oh, that ain't no money. That ain't nothing. That's only, $1,000 a week. That ain't nothing." You don't know. You don't know that person's history. They could have came from making $400 a week. And I hate that people listen so much, and social media has so much influence on what you do in the industry. Like, they'll get on there and say, "Hey, y'all, is making 1,400 a week um a good pay?" That's not something a group should be answering. Is it a good pay for your household? That's the question. Can you survive off of that? Why do you care about what other people think? 1,300 may not be shit for somebody else because they bills is probably damn near, $10,000. But is it enough for you? Is the question. I really wish new drivers would stop allowing social media to be such an influence on what they do in their career. Your your race is not somebody else's race. Run your own race. Stop focusing on everybody else. Jeff said, "I see that all the time in my field, not trucking." What field are you in, Jeff? And it's unfortunate, And I get it. We work hard, so we want nice things. I totally understand. But the point that I'm making with this is get a foundation first, right? Get a emergency fund first. So everything, again, like I said, so now when something does happen, or you having a slow week, maybe dispatch ain't dispatching you like they was, and now you still got your car payment, and you got these new bills you've accumulated, and now you can't pay them because you're in a slow week, right? But if you have built a solid foundation, so you have an emergency fund to fall back on when emergency crisis happen. So now when something unexpected happens, it's overwhelming. And then this is what I see also. Now you start blaming industry. Now you start saying ain't no money out here. Ain't no money in trucking, right? Now it's everybody else's fault. Jeff, you say mechanic. Okay, we work on commission. Sometimes good checks, sometimes not. Yeah. You got to plan for the rainy days. And I just think that's just in life in general, though. Personally, you never know. A lot of people are living check to check. A lot of us are one check away from shit being bad. But if you got a job, a career, and you start making money that you've never made before, why go out and create more bills? Start stacking that money. Put it away. Put it away for those rainy days. So yeah. So then what I see is when shit get bad, they are blaming the industry. So I now see online like, oh, the industry, trucking ain't paying. I see that all the time. Trucking ain't paying. These companies is doing this and they doing that. When really it's financial immaturity creating your pressure. Going back, accountability. Financial immaturity created that pressure that you feeling, not the industry. You did. You started off making all this money that you've never touched, and you went out and bought a new car that you barely gonna get to drive because you on the road. I mean, I don't know. Make that make sense. Why would you go and get what's the kids getting now? Hellcats? Because you can. That you barely gonna drive. Like, it just makes no sense. You have to think. And I'm not judging. But you have to think ahead, right? Think about what ifs. That's how you should move in trucking. What if? What if I have a bad day? What if I have a bad week? Will I be able to afford X, Y, and Z, right? Let me put this money to the side. Let me put 2 months worth of whatever to the side. Let me sacrifice these next 90 days and stack this money and not buy no random stuff just because I can, right? It's just, again, it's financial immaturity. Trucking can build wealth, but only if you treat it like a business and not a lottery ticket. Yeah. I mean, and I think people treat this like a lottery ticket. They just think they're going to come in and they're about to make all this money. And this is another crazy reality. They come in and they think they're going to make all this money and they have zero experience, 0 miles under their belt. Literally, you are a liability to whatever company you go into. You are the liability. You really need them. Your focus when you first get in should be getting experience and just getting some miles under your belt first. Then, after you kind of get some miles under your belt, some safe miles, mind you, under your belt, then maybe you can branch out and start asking or looking for more money, because now you've established yourself as a safe driver, right? You have a good reputation, right? You don't have any CSA scores, and your driving record look good. But establish yourself. Stop coming in with this unrealistic expectation that you're about to make all this money. That's not how it works. Let me go to the comments. Trucker Steve, I treated my trucking job as a personal business. Yeah, I had to show up each and every day. Hold on, where I go back. I paid myself first. Let me show it. I paid myself first. Then some funds for time with my family. I always plan ahead. I love it. Exactly. Always plan ahead. Always plan ahead. Let's see. Green Wolf said, look, if you can't survive off of 13 to 1500 a week as a single individual with no kids, they have financial retardation if you can't save you money. Yeah. To me, that's a good start, especially coming from, and the thing is, a lot of these guys or girls are starting now, at 25, 24, no responsibility, no kids. I've told students, listen, if you want to get out of the situation you in, get on the road. Like, drive your truck, live out your truck, no bills, no responsibilities, stack your money. Yeah, you're going to buy you some clothes, you're going to buy you some food, but majority of your money, you'll be stacking it and not just, paying it on rent when you're not even at the house, right? So always plan ahead. Green, that's the word I was looking for, immaturity, for sure. Yeah. Trucker Steve said, build an emergency fund, 1 to 5 months of funds available at all times. I love it. And this may be hard for some people, but start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. Trucker Steve he says 1 to 5 months. So start at the 1 month mark, right? Because sometimes you can set out to do something and then you don't get it. You don't get close and then you overwhelm yourself and now you forget it. So start at 1 month. And then once you get those funds put aside, boom. I got 1 month, let me do 2 months. And then try to work your way up to, like Steve said, at least 5 months worth of funds. Are you a trucker yourself? Let me go back here. XPTX Trucking. Are you a trucker yourself? I used to be. I've been in transportation 23 years. So I started off as a road driver. So yeah, I look younger than I am. So I started off trucking, and I went into local driving for some time. And then I started going into the training side of things, the safety and compliance side of things. And now I am a DOT compliance and driver trainer, a CDL state examiner, and also a licensed instructor, and your host of 10-4 Radio. So yeah, so I've been in the game for a while. XP TX trucking. Trucker Steve said, look for a company with good benefits. Benefits is real money. And going back to your point, Steve, um, benefits and good health, keeping your health up. You gotta keep your health up. I remember I gained so much weight when I was out there. It's so hard to stay in shape out there. You really have to have a good discipline. But if you find a company, try to go company with good benefits, keep your health up. I seen a video, it was earlier this week, where they found a driver passed away in his truck. He was just right there in the front seat. It's just really unfortunate that the amount of drivers that that's passing away in their vehicle. It's just really sad, and we have to take better care of our health. Thank you, XPTX Trucking. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. So let me keep going. So another reason that I wrote here that I feel like drivers typically quit within their 1 year is compliance pressure, right? All these terms is new to new drivers, right? ELDs, hours of service, dash cams, coaching calls, safety audits. Like it's kind of like a overload a lot of the times. And if you don't understand the why behind the compliance, it feels like you're being watched instead of developed. So when I'm in the different groups on like Facebook or Instagram, I see all the time drivers is saying, "Oh no, don't give with no company if they got a camera in the truck." And it always throws me off because I'm like, what does the camera have to do with anything? Why are y'all so worried about the camera? Like, if you do what you're supposed to do, you wouldn't be worried about the camera. Like, I don't understand what the issue is with the cameras. And and this is the thing. Cell phones are a big problem in our industry. That has been a big thing. And that's what they doing. Like, you don't want to say that, of course, but it's cell phones. They want to be able to talk on the phone, text on the phone. I've seen a guy have his laptop right here, like in the dash. And he was, what? It it's just I remember I seen, what was this? Maybe a couple of weeks ago I was driving and I seen a couple of guys in the trucks and they was passing and they had their feet up on the seat. Like they was like cocked up like this with they hand on their knee, and then they was driving. I couldn't believe it. It just looked way too relaxed. And the first thing I thought of was like, ain't no way if something happens, they're going to be able to react fast enough. Way too relaxed for me. I don't understand. But okay, because y'all know I'll go off into a whole tangent about safety. So I feel like with the cameras, new drivers feel like they're being watched instead of developed. And but I don't know. This is a professional industry, right? Um, I don't know. I don't understand the whole concept about or the issue with the cameras. And maybe y'all can help me understand what the issue is with the cameras if y'all have a difference of opinion. Um, I don't have a problem with the cameras because I'm not doing anything that I don't I don't care. But again, that's me personally. Um, this is the thing. I think also a lot of times people don't understand that they have a professional license, right? This is a professional industry. I'm sweating, y'all. My light got me sweating. This is a professional industry. So you don't get paid like a professional and you get to move like an amateur, right? The drivers who understand structure typically thrive in this industry. And the ones who fight it, like who's combative about everything, a camera, and, you know, they are the ones that usually struggle. They're the ones who usually have a hard time in this industry. And those are the ones that usually wind up quitting because structure and discipline and having rules that you are held to, being held accountable, those things some people have issues with. And it's hard for them to get out of their own way, unfortunately. Next, moving on. The next thing I have is, and I think this is a silent career killer, is pride. Pride is a career killer. Now, this one's an uncomfortable one, and I think this is one that people don't really like to talk about. This industry will humble you, literally. Yes, you will struggle backing, and you probably thought you was probably the best backer in your class, huh? You thought you was doing something backing in those cones, yeah. Until you get out here in the real world, right? You will struggle backing, you will get corrected, and you will feel new because you are new. Some people would rather quit the job. Some people would rather quit than be seen learning. Oh, I think I said a word here. Some people would rather quit the job than to be seen learning. Some people aren't coachable. Like, they don't like feeling new. We've all been there. Like, it's a part of your journey. I just say embrace and enjoy the journey, even the uncomfortable parts. Trucker Steve said the new inexperienced CDL drivers will most likely have an inward facing camera. Yeah. So he said inward facing cameras, I feel, are lack of privacy. You can't even poke your nose or pick your nose in peace. But this is the thing, and I don't know how all cameras are. Um, like the company that I'm at, where I'm the safety person, right? I think people have this idea that there's somebody just sitting and watching the cameras all day. Ain't nobody got time to be watching those cameras all day. Those cameras, the only time I get pinged from a camera is if the driver has done something to alert the camera, meaning a hard braking, hitting a curb, following distance, distracted driving. Those things set the camera off, and then it sends an alert straight to me. Once something like that happens, then the camera cuts on. Now it's recording for a period of time. It'll go back a period of time, maybe like 10 seconds, and then it'll keep recording for a period of time, maybe like 10 seconds or 15 seconds ahead, right? It's not a continuous, you know how much tape and not tape. Oh, I told my age. I said tape. You know how much recording, like, I don't know what that would be called. Is it bandwidth or what? I don't know. That's a lot of recording 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. No, that's not how that works. It goes off when you trigger it, when a driver triggers it. So if you did a hard brake, let's say the truck registered that you did a hard brake and the camera cuts on, right? Now the camera is asking, what made him hard brake? I look at the camera and I see you did a hard brake because you was right up on a car's ass and that car put on brakes and turned right. Yeah, you did a hard brake because your following distance was way too close, which now is a safety concern, right? So now safety has to come out and talk to you about it. Does that make sense? So it only triggers, and I don't know if every camera system is like that. but ours is. It triggers only when something happens. So when it does trigger, now I need to see why it triggered. You know, following distance, mainly a lot of the things I see is following distance. So I see a lot of hard braking, and it's usually based on following distance. Near collisions, near misses, those are other things. So it'll register as a near miss, meaning the driver like had to hurry up and swerve or something, and then I'll look at it, and it was because the driver um, had his phone up to his ear, or he was looking down like this, and then somebody broke in front of him, and he had to hurry up. And so that's how that works. Again, I don't know if every camera system is the same, but that's how it works on my end. Jeff Jeff says, I'm going to CDL school next month, and I'm worried about the backing part. Don't worry about the backing part, Jeff. You gonna get it, I promise. Just take your time. Again, run your own race. Run your own race. Don't focus on nobody else unless they're doing good. I always tell people this. Again, this is going back to asking for help. If you see somebody killing it, like they are bomb at backing, that's who you need to go and get up under and get some pointers from. Ask for help. Say, hey, man, you doing good. This your first time, driving a truck? Maybe like, yeah. Ask them what they're doing, what they're looking at. Where's their reference points at? How are they backing it like they're doing? Don't be afraid to ask for help. I've said I've seen some crazy places people have to back on YouTube, and that makes me a little nervous. Yeah. Again, if you was watching this from the beginning, Jeff, remember I talked about the stretch, right? Getting uncomfortable. And that's what people don't talk about, is the discomfort that comes with getting into it, right? The unrealistic expectation, but then you don't think about, the backing portion, or just being uncomfortable, or your anxiety, being places that you've never been, sitting next to a trainer that you have no idea about, and he's probably irritated that you may be in his truck. Some trainers are like that, right? And just pushing past that. We've all been there. So don't feel like you are the only one going through that. Push through it. Anytime you start feeling that little discomfort or you're uncomfortable, that's where the growth is happening. Stay with it. Just it'll get better. I promise. And I want to, now that you said you about to go to trucking school, I want you to tap back in. I want to know how your journey is going. So I would love to kind of follow your journey, and your process. And again, I talked about Trucker Steve. Make sure you follow Trucker Steve. He's a great resource. He has a lot of information. He teaches backing on his YouTube channel to make it easy. Follow him. Follow me. All social media platforms. I'm always posting safety tips and things to help you remember your pre-trip, because that's really typically the hardest part. But I'm a resource, so make sure you subscribe. Also, go visit Trucker Steve. Also, Jeff, there we go, Trucker Steve. Over 50 plus years as a Class A driver. I love 98% of my driving career. One just needs to get over the hurdles. Have a few attitudes. Yep. 50 plus years. Look at that, Jeff. What Trucker Steve said. As an instructor, I teach my students to love backing. It's an acquired skill. Period. It's a science, and you'll get it. I promise you. Just stay with it, Jeff. Don't get discouraged. XP Trucking, I will definitely follow you. Yeah. I like that, Trucker Steve. It's definitely an acquired skill. And it'll get good. You'll get good. And again, like I said earlier, even us older school truckers, sometimes we have trouble backing. It just be bad days like that. It just be like that. Sometimes I just be like, I'll sit there and be like, what the heck? What am I doing? Like, what's going on with me today? It's like that. I shrug my shoulders. I'll be like, I probably pulled up 50 times trying to get it into this spot. Eh, that's my attitude. Meh, shit happened. Tomorrow will be a better day. That I do not stress it. That's how you got to look at it, Jeff. Don't stress. Okay, so let me get back into it. So, um, where was I at? Um, I was talking about pride being the silent killer, right? So, I was making my point by saying some people would rather quit than be seen learning, which is so true, right? They don't want you to, someone watching them reset up, you know, safety. They don't want nobody calling them about the camera going off, right? Some kind of safety concern. They don't want no trainer correcting them. They don't want someone younger than them instructing them. That's another thing. Some drivers are getting into the industry a little bit later in life, which is okay. It's harder sometimes to teach an older person because sometimes they're already set in their ways and they feel like they're older. What can you tell them? Right? Josh on my community college on April 1st, back in 03. So obviously not enough experience to get good at backing. You'll get good at backing, Jeff. No worries. You got it. I know you do. So, yeah, training older drivers is a bit more difficult because again, they're older. And I think sometimes they come into it and they be like, what? First off, especially if it's somebody like me, I'm a girl. Just a girl. Until they know I know my shit. Right? So sometimes it's like somebody younger than them teaching them. They have this they don't want to listen type of thing. Instead of asking questions, some people say, this just ain't me. It just ain't me. And that's not it. You just don't like being inexperienced. It's uncomfortable. Confidence in trucking is earned through repetition, not ego. At the beginning, you got to take your ego out of it. Take it and throw it away or put it to the side. I'm not going to say throw it away. Just put it to the side. Confidence in trucking is earned through repetition. Jeff, you scared of backing. You ain't going to get better until you just keep doing it. The more you do it, the easier it's going to get. And one day it's just going to click. And you're going to be like, oh, that's what I was doing wrong. Or, oh, this is an easier way to do it. Like, it's just going to click. Repetition is how you get better. All right? Not ego. Now, experience can be trained. Ego cannot. Period. I can train anybody I feel that's inexperienced. That's just what I do. I've been in it a long time. I feel like I can train anybody inexperienced. But somebody coming in with this big ass ego, they know it all. What am I going to teach them? They already got this big ego. You can't teach. You can't train ego. Period. Let me see what some of the comments are saying. Look at that, Jeff. Trucker Steve already giving you some pointers. Backing, you hit a cone, stop and think what went wrong. Why did it go wrong? How should I fix it? Take a deep breath and now pull up and apply what needs to be done. I tell my students that all the time. During the state exam, you get, depending on the maneuver you're doing, you get 1 free pull-up or 2 free pull-ups and 2 get out and looks, right? But I always ask them, how many stop and thinks do you get? How many stop and thinks do you get during your state test? as many as you need. There is no limit. So whenever you do something your truck isn't set up right, stop. Don't keep moving. Don't keep moving the wheel. Moving the wheel ain't gonna do nothing but mess it up even worse. Stop. Think about what you need your tractor and your trailer to do. And you also have to remember you're driving your trailer. You're not driving your tractor. The whole focus when you're backing, you driving that trailer. So stop and think. What do I need my trailer to do? What do I want my trailer to do? Oh, I want my trailer to go to the right. So I think, oh, I need to turn my wheel to the left. Right? Like, so just remember that. You get an unlimited number of stop and thinks. Use them as often as you need to. All right. All right. So because I've been on here for a while, so I want to close this segment. So when people say in that first year that trucking just wasn't for me, that's what I've heard. Trucking just wasn't for me. I agree. Sometimes that's true because trucking is not for everybody. But I think a lot of the times it wasn't the industry. It was the expectation. It was the mindset. And it was the lack of preparation. And to me, that's fixable. I think, if you really want it, you're going to stick with it. Those things can be fixed. But okay, let me just for a second, I'm going to be transparent for a minute. When I got into transportation over years ago, I didn't grow up dreaming about being a trucker. I had 2 kids. I was really searching for stability, searching for a stable income and something that could give me more. And I accidentally landed in transportation. Now, it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't planned. It wasn't a lifelong passion. It was merely survival for me. And I remember that feeling in the beginning. I remember the uncertainty. I remember the doubt. I remember what am I doing? Like, this ain't gonna work. And I didn't have a support system walking with me through it like that. Nobody was saying, you're going to figure this out, Mia. Like, don't worry. You're going to grow into this. I didn't have a mentor, right? Nobody said, stay the course. I literally had to motivate myself. I wanted better for my children. I wanted more options and I wanted stability. So I pushed. But if I be all the way honest, I know everybody's willpower is not built the same. So everybody doesn't have that internal, what you call it, like an internal motor that just keeps going no matter what. Me, I'm very resilient. Like when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And that's just me. Now I know some people need structure. Some people need reinforcement. Some people need somebody to say, need somebody to kind of stay with them, right? And when I started training students, I saw that same uncertainty in some of their eyes. And I recognized it immediately because I remember that feeling. I remember living it. I knew what it felt like to step into something like unfamiliar with no backup plan and no cheering section. So Jeff, you talking about you have a fear of backing? Yeah, I get it, but you got to push through it. But so for me, I realized early on, if I had a mentor, like if I had someone pushing me strategically, if I had guidance instead of just figuring it out alone, I would probably have accelerated a lot faster. And this is the thing, I'm not complaining about where I am now. I'm in an amazing position where I'm at now. I'm able to help people. I'm able to motivate people. I'm able to assist people. I'm able to guide people into the transportation realm. I'm proud of my journey, but I also understand how powerful mentorship is when you're entering a new career, especially one that changes your lifestyle. So that's why, and I know a lot of people ask me what made me start Gorgeous Truck Hers. That's why Gorgeous Truck Hers exists. Not because I had it easy, but because I didn't. I built it because the mentor I needed in my younger years, um, I built it to become her, to provide structure, to provide the accountability, to provide the voice of reason when doubt gets loud. Because literally entering a new career, I mean, it's pressure. I mean, entering trucking without a support system, that shit heavy. And I don't believe people quit because they're incapable. I think a lot of the times they quit because they're unsupported. And so with Gorgeous Truck Hers, I set out to be the support system. I set out to be your biggest cheering section, no matter what. So anytime y'all see me cheering for a student, I'm happy because that goes a long way. Some people need that. Some people don't have that in their life. And having a support system and a mentor, it can make or break you. And it can really push you far, or it could stop you where you're at. So yeah. So I wanted to build something that I feel like I needed when I first started. I didn't plan transportation. I didn't plan on being in transportation. Transportation built me. And now I use what built me to build others. So, yeah. Um, I went kind of deep there for a second, didn't I? But I feel like that needed to be said because I think a lot of people don't talk about that. And again, I ask all the time, what made you start Gorgeous Truck Hers, right? But that's why. I just wanted to become the person that I needed when I was a little bit younger, when I first started training or driving, should I say. So anyway, so I'm gonna end this because we've been on here. We've had a great conversation. So in closing, the point I want to make is the CDL, yes, it gets you in the door. However, character keeps you in the room and development keeps you advancing. Don't stop learning just because you've mastered it. Keep learning, keep moving, keep finding different things to do. Find different areas in transportation. Transportation is huge. You can go into any area of transportation. So, I mean, just stay teachable. Don't stop learning, okay? I got a question for y'all before I let you go. So, the question is, what if the version of you, what is the version of you right now that's struggling? Like if you're in that area of like, I'm about to quit shit. I get it. What if the version of you what is it? What are you struggling with right now? Like, is it the development? Are you struggling with backing? I mean, what is it? Is it the discomfort? Is it like, I don't know if I'm just cut for this? Like, what is it? Is it your training? I know some people don't last past the training because the training can be rough too. I mean, what's stretching you? That's the word I'm using. What's stretching you right now? Meaning what's building you. Because I don't want to say what's, your problem. What's building you? Because that's what it is. You just have to push through it. I promise. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank y'all again so much for tapping in to Gorgeous to 10-4 Radio with Mia, Gorgeous Truckers. Make sure y'all visit us online. If you or you know somebody that's looking to get into transportation, they're not sure which avenue to go, they don't know what to do, have them reach out to me, book a free consultation, and I will help you or assist you on your journey in getting the knowledge that you need. I will help you with your training. Also, if you guys seen earlier, Trucker Steve was on. Go visit his website. Like, follow, and share. Subscribe. And just to stay updated on when I go live or when I post new content, follow me at Gorgeous Truck Hers on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that good stuff. So I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will talk to you guys later. And remember, be safe. Keep it between the lines. And reach out to me. Let me know what you need. All right. 10-4? 10-4. Thanks
for watching. Back when I'm better.